Mikus, and I own the Surfside grill at Pacific Sands. I'm a commercial fisherman and a cook. Today we're going to make a West Coast family style lunch or dinner. We've got frozen at sea Chinook salmon just caught off Long Beach here. We've got fresh Dungeness crab, local side stripe shrimp, and a bunch of local veg, and we're just going to grill and barbecue up a real simple healthy meal. And I think we'll start first. We're going to do up some potatoes. We're going to do some garlic, rosemary, roasted potatoes. So just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of garlic, a little sprinkle of salt. We like to use kind of a fine or a medium kosher salt. A little bit of pepper, and a bunch of chopped rosemary. We're just going to mix this. We're doing the potatoes first because we want to roast them and we want them to cook a little bit longer. So we'll start off with getting this stuff ready to go. That's going to go right onto a nice little cookie sheet. And these are going to sit for a few minutes. When the oven comes up to temperature, about 350, 375, we will fire those into the oven. We've got a pot of water over there that is heating up for the crab. It's a little bit down the road here, but okay, so next we are going to start by filleting our salmon. So like I said, this is a beautiful little West Coast Chinook salmon or spring salmon. When we start, always start at the head. The head is off, but start at the collar. And you're going to run your knife along the backbone. Get a nice clean cut. I'm going to flip over. Do the exact same thing on the other side. And there you go. If you want, you can keep your backbones and stuff for soup stock, but we're not going to use these today, so we're just going to toss them in the sink. Now we're going to give this a quick clean up. We start off just taking our collar off. We're going to trim just a little bit of the bones from the backbone that we left on when we filleted. And then we're going to take out our belly bones here. Use a longer knife for this. This one is a little bit tricky. You need to get underneath your bones, and you want the knife angled up and towards you just a little bit so that you're not cutting into the meat. The whole goal when you're taking out your belly bones is go slow, be gentle, and always, like I said, angle your knife up a bit so you're not cutting a bunch of meat away. And hopefully at the end you can actually see through the bones. And then with salmon you have one more row of bones called your pin bones. And then we use a pair of trusty little needle nose pliers. And we're going to pull these bones out that run 2/3 of the length of the fish. And you can sort of see them sticking up here. just grab onto them and pull them straight out. They can be sticky sometimes, and you want to be gentle with this so you don't tear the meat too badly. These are sticky little things. Now we're so lucky to have fish like this coming from our backyard. Some of the best fish you'll find anywhere in the world, and super healthy meal. When you get down to the middle of the fish, the pin bones start to get smaller and then they just disappear altogether. So you just kind of feel around for them, and I think we've got them all. So that is done for the pin bones and the belly bones. So we now have a boneless fish. We're going to take the skin off this, and then this fish is ready to go. When you're taking the skin off, you want to start at the tail, cut down at an angle, and get your knife to the skin, and then you're just going to run it along, holding and pulling. Also, the key is to this is having a sharp knife. There you go. Skin is gone. So this little side is ready to get portioned. And we're going to do lunch, I think, today probably for about 4 people. So we're just going to cut this into quarter this fish up. There. This isn't a very big fish, so I think I'll just do the same thing with this one. And there we go, the salmon is cut. So now we've got local side stripe shrimp, and we're just gonna peel these, and these are just gonna get pan fried after. So we're just gonna get these ready to go. So when you're peeling shrimp, I tend to like to keep my tails on, so you have something to grab. So you get underneath the carapace or the shell on the front, and you just peel back around. It pops off. And you just work your way down doing that to the tail. And then you've got a shrimp that's ready to go. This just pulls. And if you don't want the tail piece on there, you can just give it a little pinch and it pops out. Like I said, I like to keep the tail pieces on just because it gives you something to grab when you're doing a family style and picking off your plate and nibbling. Now we've got a lot of really nice shrimp on the BC coast, between our little pink shrimp that you see in salads and sandwiches, and then you have the side stripes, which are bigger, and coon stripe and humpback shrimp, and they're all really, really sweet. And then of course the biggest we have here is what we typically call a spot prawn, but it's a spotted shrimp. But I personally like the side stripes the best because they're super sweet and super tender. And these also can all be eaten with sushi raw and stuff, with a little soy sauce and wasabi on rice. Or they can cook up really beautifully in a little butter and garlic. Or whatever you want, actually, you know. And then when we cook these, we're just gonna pan fry these in a little bit of butter and garlic and salt and pepper, and for probably about a minute at the most. We don't need to cook them very long at all. If you cook shrimp too long, they kind of get hard and rubbery. So yeah, these are all good to go. Okay, we're gonna just pan fry up our shrimp now. Oops, well, we're gonna fly some butter all over the place. Butter. Frying pan's nice and hot. Shrimp. A little more butter. A little garlic. A little salt. A little pepper. And some fresh dill. And these only need about a minute and a half. They don't need a lot of time. They cook really quickly. And voila, they're done. Okay, now we're just gonna prep up some veg, and we're doing this really simple. We're just gonna do we're gonna grill and barbecue this stuff. So just a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm just gonna do all our veg really simple like this. We got some asparagus from Cowichan, some zucchini, a little bit of corn, and some carrots and red peppers. Carrots, these are nice fresh carrots, but sometimes carrots are a little bit dull. You can also add a little bit of honey in there, just to sweeten them a little bit. And we're just going to cut up a little bit of red pepper. When I'm grilling my red pepper, I like to just cut them in half, cut them in quarters, so they don't fall through your barbecue grill. Take out our seeds. Salt and pepper. There we go, a nice little mixture of veg to go on the barbecue. And we've got a little bit of corn here that we will just baste with a little bit of butter and throw on the grill at the same time. And we're also going to grill up some lemons when we grill the veg for the salmon. Just simply getting cut in half. And they're going to go right onto the grill and brown a bit and sear, and then give you a nice soft lemon to squeeze onto your fish afterwards. There you go, nice and simple. Okay, now we're gonna just season our salmon up here, and we're doing the very similar. We're just keeping this really simple. So a little bit of olive oil. Let's put a little in the pan so we can slide this stuff around and get the top and the bottom. Just a light little rub. And then we are going to go with salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic and dill. And that's it. Like I said, once it's cooked, we'll have the lemons grilled up, and then nice little squeeze of lemon juice on there, and a little bit of fresh dill at the very end. And we are golden. I like to use fresh ground pepper. Like I said, a little bit of fresh dill goes on while we cook, and then we add a little bit after as well. There we go. Pat. Our salmon is seasoned. Okay, so now we're going to cook off our crab, and we want to salt the water fairly liberally. You want a nice salty water for your crabs. It brings out the sweetness in the meat. And the water is boiling, so our crabs are going to go in. Away they go. We're going to let this come back to a boil, and we're going to boil them for 12 minutes. And then we're going to cool them in a little bit of salt water again, just to bring the temperature down quickly so they don't keep cooking in their shells. And then we'll clean them up. Okay, our crab has been boiling for 12 minutes. So it's all nice and cooked, so we're going to take this off, dump it into the sink. Cool it quickly. That worked out really well, so these are nice cooked crabs. We're going to run some cold water into here. I'm going to add a little bit of salt just to keep my salt content, to keep the sweetness of the meat. Like I said, if you don't cool your crab, it keeps cooking in the shell. It's in its own little boiling pot in there, so you want to cool it down a bit and slow the cooking process down. So our crabs have been cooling in some cold water here. We're just gonna pop the shells off now. And they just peel off after they've been cooked. Now we're gonna crack the crab in half. It's so nice having a double sink like this to be able to keep everything contained. You're going to pull the gills off the crab. And you can usually give them a little bit of a shake. And voila, you've got a nice crab meat ready to go. Nice and simple. There we go. Okay, we're going to start grilling our veg first and everything. We're just trying to get some nice grill marks and stuff, so I'm going to throw my corn and stuff on first. Just going to line everything up. Throw our lemons on. just going to give this stuff a quick flip. These are nice. And we'll close her back up. Pull our veg off now. Oh, our lemons are nice. It just gives them a little grilling and it just loosens up the juice. Makes them nice and squeezable. And our veg is done. Okay, we got our grill nice and hot now. We're going to do our salmon, and we don't want to overcook our salmon, so we just want to cook it to a nice medium and then let it finish off. So the salmon has been cooking for about a minute, minute and a half now. We're just going to give it a turn. Close her up for one more minute, and then we're going to flip her over. Now we're going to give her a flip. Gotta be gentle with salmon because it does tend to fall apart. Make sure your grill is nicely oiled. Turn this up a bit again. We're just going to give these one more turn. See, the fat is starting to bubble out of the fish, so you know it's getting very, very close here. It's starting to firm up. We're about a minute out. Okay, our fish is all nicely cooked. I'm just going to take it off and flop it into the... There we go. Okay, now we're going to put this together in a nice little family style platter. So we're going to start off on one end with our salmon. And anybody can just, you know, this is just we put together however people see fit. We're lucky we have this beautiful cedar board that we're using. It's an old offcut off a massive log. And we're using the kale and stuff. This is just all a little bit of display and stuff, and just to hold everything in place here as we place everything on the board. Kind of pile stuff up in nice little sections. Let's see here, let's go, and then we're going to use, we kept one of the crab shells, so we're going to put the crab shell in the middle, and it's going to hold our shrimp. And we're going to take our roasted potatoes. So there. Let's try to make sure we don't make a big giant mess here. fit in here. And we have our crab still. And we can do our crab into quarters. Just kinda there we go. We can stick a couple lemons on here to squeeze. Oh, I'm losing things. I'm just gonna leave that there. Finish with a few shrimpies on top of the salmon. Color with some strawberries, just to add a little color and some garnish. There we go. We were all done. It's a family style seafood feast.